and I've been insulted and degraded in ways that were unimaginable to me. All because they fear what I know as the truth.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the famous individuals who were widely dismissed or mocked for their claims and actions, only for history to reveal that they were right all along.
You really believe that?
I know that. I was there.
Number 10. Leah Remini. When Leah Remeny left the Church of Scientology in 2013, she didn't walk away quietly. She blew the whistle. However, Remeny was quickly branded a traitor by the church and was relentlessly attacked. This didn't stop the King of Queens actress from speaking out against alleged financial exploitation and various forms of abuse.
My story pales in comparison to what happened to other people, how people are bullied into silence.
She also raised concerns about the purported disappearance of Shelley Miscavige, wife of Scientology leader David Miscavige.
And I asked the spokesperson at the time, Tom Davis, where is Shelley? I think it's weird that she's not here. And he said, you don't have the effing rank to be asking about the leader's wife.
Though her claims were initially met with doubt, particularly from her Hollywood peers, the impact of her Emmy-winning docuseries, Leah Remeny, Scientology and the Aftermath, along with support from fellow defectors, ultimately cemented her credibility.
I'm not a big fan of bullies, so it is part of who I am, and I was a fighter in the church. This is what they taught me, and so I'm going to continue my fight, but I'm on the right side of that fight now.
Number 9. Lisa Bonet. In the 1980s, no one dared to question America's dad, Bill Cosby.
Hello, my dear.
No one except Lisa Bonet, that is. The actress was often seen as the rebellious outlier of the Cosby Show cast, outspoken and allegedly difficult.
And I'm sure that you have grown a lot from that, and you're probably thinking about what you're going to do next with your life.
You know, as a matter of fact, I want to talk to you guys about that.
In retrospect, it's clear she simply saw through Bill Cosby long before everyone else. While she never accused him of the indecent crimes he would later be charged with, she did call out the tense on-set relationship she said she had with him.
There was just energy, and that type of sinister shadow energy cannot be concealed.
Her sinister description of the then-beloved comedian raised eyebrows for decades. However, when over 60 women later accused Cosby of sexual assault, Bonet's instincts no longer felt so off base.
I don't need to say I told you so. I just leave all that to karma and justice and what will be.
Number 8. Jose Conenko.
Wow, did he crush that one? Jose Conenko off the facade of the upper deck. Welcome to the Bronx.
When Jose Conenko published Juice in 2005, he literally wrote the book on baseball's steroid problem. The premier power hitter not only admitted to using steroids himself, but also lifted the curtain on the rampant use in Major League Baseball.
You say this: I would never have been a Major League caliber player without steroids, right?
Oh, well, it is a true statement. No ifs and buts about it.
However, Conenko faced harsh backlash, mostly mocked and dismissed by sports radio pundits who branded his book a shameless cash grab. But as Major League Baseball scandals came to light and the steroid bubble burst, it confirmed much of what Conenko had already written, including confessions from players he had called out.
But everyone in the game is stunned that he has gone further in the book than they expected. He names names, 5 in particular, of players he claims to have used steroids with. At the top of the list, Mark McGowan.
It turns out, he just took the swing before everyone else. Number 7. Drake Bell.
Oh, Drake Bell, another and you're going, man, they don't know. They don't know what's happening.
When Nickelodeon star Drake Bell came forward with accusations that he had been assaulted by Brian Peck, a dialogue coach with deep ties in the entertainment industry, his claims were met with outright dismissal. In fact, numerous high-profile celebrities publicly supported Peck, who downplayed the severity of the allegations.
James Marsden and Boy Meets World stars were among those who wrote letters in support of Nickelodeon's Brian Peck.
Although Bell's identity was not publicly revealed at the time, he later shared that being dismissed by fellow actors left him feeling devastated. However, as more details surrounding Peck's criminal behavior later came to light, Bell's allegations were vindicated, not just by the public awareness, but also by former Hollywood supporters of Peck, many of whom came forward to apologize.
Have you ever told your story publicly before?
I've never told my story publicly.
Number 6. Cat Williams. With a history of legal troubles, Cat Williams has long been known for his erratic behavior. However, it turns out not everything he says is a wild exaggeration. Williams made waves in early 2024 with a bombshell appearance on Shannon Sharpe's Club Shay Shay podcast.
I sure hope I have Club Shay Shay after this air.
It's gonna be in a dimension it's never been.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
The greatest thing floating in
I might be out of
2024.
business.
Mark the words. No way. In a whole different realm of business.
In the viral interview, he boldly called out power dynamics in the entertainment industry. However, one standout moment came when he referenced the notorious Diddy parties, urging people to simply say no while making a pointed remark about protecting a certain part of his anatomy.
Because P. Diddy be wanting the body. And you gotta tell him no. You got to tell him no. I did. I did. See, I got the receipts for everything I'm telling you. That's why I can say them so freely.
Can I need to know?
With Diddy's alleged crimes coming to light, especially those involving his parties, Kat's claims no longer seem so outlandish.
God and humble and took the L's he had to take and didn't.
I did see it was trending though, but I ain't know. I ain't know why, Kat. I don't. Let me go to this question right here.
All people that love the truth got to be happy if the truth coming out and lies is getting exposed. That's just what time it is.
Number 5, Colin Kaepernick. When San Francisco 49ers quarterback Colin Kaepernick kneeled during the national anthem in 2016 in protest of racial injustice and police brutality, the backlash was swift.
I'm seeing things happen to people that don't have a voice, people that don't have a platform to talk and have their voices heard and affect change.
With criticism branding him as unpatriotic, he became a political lightning rod and was effectively blackballed from the NFL.
That's a total disrespect of everything that we stand for.
However, as incidents of police violence continued to gain widespread attention, especially the death of George Floyd in 2020, more people began to acknowledge Kaepernick's protest as prophetic. Over time, his actions became a pivotal point in sports activism, drawing awareness and support from around the globe.
Colin Kaepernick's protest to evoke attention to social injustices has spurred reaction and action unlike any we've seen in recent decades.
He is now seen as a trailblazer and no longer a troublemaker. Number 4, Rose McGowan. Harvey Weinstein's predatory behavior was said to be an open secret in Hollywood, yet it was never spoken about publicly.
Everybody knew.
You really believe that?
I know that. I was there.
Despite the silence, a few brave voices started to come forward, including rocker Courtney Love, who issued a blunt warning long before it was fashionable to do so.
Showing the star warning young women in Hollywood about the movie Titan.
Harvey Weinstein invites you to a private party and it's 4 seasons stuff.
But it was Rose McGowan who became the most outspoken critic of the disgraced producer.
He is a sociopathic predator. He thinks he's done nothing wrong.
Her efforts came at a cost, though, as the actress was often portrayed as a self-serving agitator. However, come the #MeToo movement and scores of women stepping forward with similar accounts, it became clear she hadn't just been sharing a crazy story. She was blowing the whistle on a decades-long cover-up. Number 3, Corey Feldman. Corey Feldman has long spoken out about the alleged exploitation of child actors. For years, he's claimed that a powerful network within the industry has abused young performers, pointing to his own experiences and those of his late friend, Corey Haim, as evidence of a deeper systemic issue. Feldman has also accused the industry of willfully ignoring the problem.
I'm saying that there are people that were the people that did this to both me and Corey that are still working, they're still out there, and they're some of the richest, most powerful people in this business.
While his warnings were initially dismissed and labeled dangerous, his core message, that child actors are vulnerable and often exploited, is now being taken far more seriously. And with new instances coming to light, many of Feldman's unwavering beliefs have proven accurate.
I am using this to draw a line in the sand, to say to the Hollywood community, we are better than this.
Number 2, Ernest Hemingway. You probably know Ernest Hemingway as one of the greatest writers of the 20th century, but what you might not know is that he spent his final years trapped in a bout of paranoia. Convinced the FBI was spying on him, his friends and family grew increasingly concerned about his mental health, ultimately subjecting him to multiple rounds of electroshock therapy.
They put the electrodes to your head and you know it's coming, and it's like being electrocuted 20 times.
As it turns out, Hemingway wasn't imagining things. Declassified documents later confirmed that J. Edgar Hoover's FBI had indeed been surveilling him, tracking his movements over suspected connections to Cuba. Tragically, Hemingway took his own life in 1961, never realizing that his fears were entirely justified.
I think he would have made such a marvelous old man. And that's what I am most sorry for, that he did not have the chance to be a marvelous old man.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1. Sinéad O'Connor.
Everywhere is war.
When Sinéad O'Connor tore up a photo of Pope John Paul II on Saturday Night Live in 1992, it sent shockwaves through the world.
Fight the real enemy.
Punctuated by the words, "Fight the real enemy," the bold act was meant as a protest against the then alleged abuse of minors within the Catholic Church. However, instead of sparking urgent action, O'Connor was vilified. The singer was blacklisted by NBC and cast out by much of the industry.
So it was funny because after the first song there was loads of people around and they all came into the dressing room and everything, but then after that there was nobody around, there was silence.
It wasn't until years later, when the Boston Globe Spotlight team uncovered the full scope of the scandal, that the world finally caught up with her message.
She really preempted an awful lot of that collapse with her actions on Saturday Night Live.
Sinéad O'Connor had spoken the truth. It was just too soon for people to truly hear it. Which perceived crazy celebrity did you believe from the start? Let's talk in the comments below.
And it's not just me, it's anyone who has spoken out. Everyone is called a liar, everyone's called an apostate, everyone's called the same thing.